Hey, Charles, what's your take on Trump tweeting today he will win? So, this is another example of game theory. You see, he has no downside to doing that. If he does nothing, he automatically loses. Okay? If he says he won and fraud took it away from him, he will convince a meaningful subset of the 71 million people who voted for him that that's true, in which case he is the legitimate but exiled president. Okay? Just like Al Gore did. I'm the real president. Bush didn't win the election. Okay? So he's on the outside. What are these 20, 30, 40 million people going to do? Well, Trump can go create Trump News Network. He can go buy Newsmax. He can go and take over Rush Limbaugh's show after Limbaugh dies of lung cancer because he's probably going to go in 3 to 6 months. He takes those 20, 30 million people with him. How much money and power do you think he can preserve as a consequence of having a constituency like that? And also, he has the ultimate nuclear option. He can run for president again in 2024 with a built-in coalition of 20 to 30 very angry people who think he's cheated against a much weaker Joe Biden, who will be 83 years old, completely spent, and likely just destroyed by 4 years of hyper-partisan politics and a red wave in 2022. So he has no downside to tweeting the things he does, regardless of whether he believes them or not, because he's basically preserving a political coalition. And this is what really smart media people do. They always assess the situation and say, how do we make the best out of the situation as it is? Hi, Charles. What advice would you give someone who's just come into a windfall of money? Pay your taxes. That's number one. Number two, set aside half of it, put it into what's called an irrevocable trust with Brown Brothers Harriman or Bessemer, and that's your safe money. And basically, for the rest of your life, you're entitled to the interest, but divorce, bankruptcy, lawsuits, these things have a hard time touching the underlying principle. And basically just say, okay, I have that. Put yourself on an allowance and then diversify the other side of the money.